Well, thanks for having me here today. It's not lost on me that I was only in my seat for a couple of minutes before I saw a maroon jersey score a try, so thank you for kind of putting up with me and having me. I know I've only got 5 minutes, so I'm going to share a few highlights and then a few things that we've experienced in the Together for Ride journey. But I do say in 5 minutes I'm only going to share the good things. There's plenty of challenges and struggles as well. But we're a long way from where we want to be, but we're also a long way from where we were. And I was reflecting and thinking, what starts a movement? And what starts a movement is a challenge or an issue or a vision that presents itself that is bigger than any of the single parts to be able to embrace it. And whilst the Together for Right journey started around coffee, it gained momentum around a vision. It gained momentum when we understood what God was doing amongst us. You see, if there's no vision, then there's no movement. There's a tea party. And I like tea parties, but they tend to not go on or achieve too much, where movements with a vision can actually achieve something. I read a quote in a book called Impact Networks. It said, given the increasing complexity of our society and the issues we face, our ability to form, grow, and work through networks has never been more essential. And I think that's true for us in a church setting. That's not a church book, that's a secular book. Our world is forming movements and networks because the issues we're facing are beyond any individual parts to be able to deal with them. So at Ride, we saw the presenting issue or opportunity, you can articulate it however you want to see the city of Ride flourish with the gospel to the glory of God. Now, you can articulate that however you want to reach the city with the gospel, but we saw a vision that was beyond any single part to be able to achieve it. And when we're together, we always articulate the vision. We start our time together by reminding each other of our vision. We're here because God has placed something upon our hearts, and so we tell that to each other when we come together. See, without a revelation for a new thing that kind of captures you deeply, then you always go about doing the old thing that you've done in an old way. And I want to encourage us, say to us, challenge us, if our cities are going to be one for Jesus and they're going to flourish in the gospel, if not us, then who? I mean, who else would even take responsibility for that? If not you, then who? And we realised that in Ride. And the first thing that God did with me personally was took me on a beautiful journey where he showed me that I didn't love my city at all. I loved my church in my city, but I didn't love my city. And that was a long journey of breaking my heart beautifully, bringing me to the wonderful place of repentance, and then an incredible place of renewal. These are not quick journeys, but as you yield to them, as you come to them, then they happen. So movement began at Ride, and with all movements, it starts with coffee because the train tracks that carry it is relational trust and unity. So if you've got nothing happening, start with coffees because then you've got something happening, and then let God birth the vision. That's what we discovered. So I started having coffees, and then coffees grew to lunches, and now we have a bunch of churches who lunch together with a common vision to see our city flourish. So a few highlights. Real quick. Our city is becoming a vertical village. Every block of land, high-rise. But we didn't know how to serve high-rise, so we went on a journey called Vertical Villages. And we started to say, gee, we better not talk about how to serve and pastor vertical villages until we understand vertical villages. And so God led us to do God led us to do a research project that said, what does it look like to live in a vertical village? Before we said, how do you pastor a vertical village? We stepped out with a grant of $20,000 that miraculously arrived. Within 3 months, that had grown into $100,000. Macquarie University had come on board to do the research project with us. You can look up the website now called Vertical Villages, and we're on a journey to say, how do we put a pastor into every vertical village in our city? Now, please don't. We're a long way from doing it. But please encourage us to keep trying it, because I reckon you've got vertical villages in your block of dirt too, and maybe we can share something with you that can say. Now, no one of us sitting in our office could even have a dream to take that on. we did a report of our city called the Neighbour Report. Some of you might know Nick from Neighbour. It just gave us a benchmark that said, how is the faith community serving the city? But that then snowballed into the council, because we presented it to the council and they went, who are you? What are you? What do you do? Thanks for having me.